This is your question then, Brian. Which country won the most gold medals at the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics? Russia, Canada or Norway?
Right. Okay, obviously I'm the sport expert. Russia is the first answer that sort of came to mind. Or Canada. I'll go with Canada, I think.
Canada, right to do so. Home turf, of course, in Vancouver, and that's the right answer. And first question then to you, Daphne. Oh, preparing yourself with a sigh. Here you go. Marin Cilic and Radek Stepanek are famous names in which sport? Golf, tennis or motor racing?
Well, I haven't heard of them in motor racing. They sound like tennis players to me, so that's what I go for.
Sound like tennis players? Tennis is correct, Daphne. One each, and a good start, Brian. Second question, in rugby league, the number 9 shirt is usually worn by a player in which position? Fullback, hooker or scrum half?
Right, if it was rugby union, I think I would have known this straight away.
I was just thinking that, given where you're from.
So,
What would it be in rugby union?
I think we've gone for scrum half, personally, but I think it's possibly... I'll go for scrum half.
Scrum half, Eggheads, is he right?
No, hooker.
It's hooker.
Oh.
Hooker, numbering's different, obviously fewer players as well. Hooker there. So, Daphne, which year was known as the Summer of 4 Captains after the England cricket team had 4 different captains in a 5-test series? 1982, 85 or 88?
I really have absolutely no idea, so I shall go for 1988, because that was a good year.
It's the right answer.
I'm so sorry.
Another Daphne guess landed. Uncanny. You're a quiz magician. OK, it means you've got to get this, Brian. In which sport did Birgit Fischer win her first Olympic gold medal in 1980 and her last in 2004? Sailing, biathlon or kayaking?
Right, 2004. I think I'm going to rule out biathlon. I think I will go for kayaking.
Kayaking,
Yeah.
Birgit Fischer. 24-year span there. It's the right answer. Well done, Brian. Kept yourself in it. So, I mean, that must be the record, isn't it? I mean, given the length of span. And presumably started as a teenager and finished up in her 40s.
Missed an Olympics.
Missed an Olympics as well, Pat?
She missed an Olympics due to the boycott.
I see. OK. Kayaking there anyway. Well identified by Brian. Daphne, in athletics, what is the distance of the shortest sprint race ever run in the Summer Olympic Games? 50 metres, 60 metres or 75 metres?
Oh dear, another guess coming up. Right, we'll go for the shortest then, 50 metres.
It was in the 1900 and 1904 Olympics they ran this distance, and we're obviously familiar with the 100 metres now. That's the shortest now, and it was 60 metres, which still exists, of course, in indoor athletics, which I always thought was just because of the length of the track. But there we are, 60 metres. Well, Brian, well quizzed. Means you've gone to sudden death like Frank. Let's hope you don't end up like Frank and ultimately not winning. Here's a question for you. In which decade were the West German football team the runners-up in 2 consecutive World Cups?
Right.
Decade, remember?
I'll go for the 70s.
OK, 1970s for the West German football team. But it's not correct. It was the 1980s. Eggheads, do you know the World Cups in question?
82 and 86.
82 and 86. They lost 2 in 82.
Italy and then Argentina.
Argentina in the final in 86. Your question then, Daphne, can take the round if you get this. In the Tour de France, what colour is the jersey worn by the rider who's leading the points competition?
Is it green?
Is that your answer?
Yeah, green.
It is the right answer, yes. The green jersey for points as opposed to overall leader, who, of course, is in yellow, which means you're the overall leader after that round. Daphne, it did happen. Brian, bad luck means you won't be in the final round. Daphne, you will be. Would you both please come back and join your teams? It means, Magic Dragons, you've lost 3 brains from the final round. The Eggheads are all still there, and a last chance coming up now to knock an Egghead out of the game. And it's film and television. And Daniel or Steve remain. You're the two... One of you two may play this one. Film and television.
I think it's going to be me, Dermot.
OK, Daniel, and who do you want to play, from Kevin or Pat?
I think I try Pat, please.
OK, let's have Daniel and Pat then into the question room, please. Daniel, do you want to go first or second?
I think I'd like to go first, please.
OK, first, Daniel. First question. Going for an English, in which a group of Bombay youths go to an English restaurant, insult the waiter and order bland food, is a celebrated sketch from which show? Goodness Gracious Me, Little Britain, or Armstrong and Miller?
Well, it seems too obvious to be Goodness Gracious Me. And Armstrong and Miller, I'm not certain that I've seen any of those sketches. So I think possibly I'd like to go for Little Britain.
OK, Little Britain, avoiding the obvious, and it is the obvious. It is Goodness Gracious Me, not Little Britain. So, Pat, what is the relationship of Minnie Mouse to Mickey Mouse? Sister, mother, or girlfriend?
Minnie Mouse and Mickey. I think she's a girlfriend.
Girlfriend is correct, yes. OK, Daniel, what is the title of the 1978 Alan Parker film about the harrowing experiences of an American in a Turkish prison? Midnight Cowboy, Round Midnight, or Midnight Express?
Midnight Express.
Sure aground there, yes. Midnight Express is correct. Well done, Daniel. Pat, who directed the 2010 film Shutter Island? Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, or Steven Spielberg?
It stars Leonardo DiCaprio on a sort of strange asylum on an island off Massachusetts, and it's Martin Scorsese.
Yes, it is Martin Scorsese. You have two, and Daniel needs to get this. Daniel, who played the part of Matthew Willows in the TV sitcom Home to Roost? Sean Pertwee, Philip Glenister, or Rhys Dinsdale?
I'm not familiar with this sitcom whatsoever, so it's going to have to be a guess, I'm afraid. I'd like to go with Sean Pertwee.
Sean Pertwee in Home to Roost. I vaguely remember it wasn't John Thaw.
John Thaw was the father,
yeah. The father, yeah. In Home to Roost, John Thaw, we mentioned there, and his son was played by Rhys Dinsdale. Rhys Dinsdale, which means, sorry, Daniel, couple of questions there that you didn't really enjoy and didn't get correct, more to the points, and it means you won't be in the final round. Pat, you'll be there. Would you both please come back and join your teams? So this is what we've been playing towards. It's time for the final round, which as always is general knowledge, but I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So Daniel, Frank, Brian and Jasper from the Magic Dragons, would you leave the studio, please? Steve, you're playing to win the Magic Dragons £10,000. Pat, Judith, Kevin, CJ and Daphne, full set of eggheads there. You're playing for something which money can't buy, the egghead's reputation. As usual, I'll ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge and you are allowed to confer. Steve, the question is your one brain better than the egghead's 5? And Steve, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, I think, yeah.
OK, first question, Steve. What name is given to the adjustable flaps on the front of lights used for filming? Stable doors, shed doors or barn doors?
Ooh. Yep. I've done a bit with lighting in the theatre, so hopefully barn doors.
Well, there's a few of them around this studio if you look up, and they are barn doors. It's the right answer. Well done, Steve. Barn doors for Steve, giving him the first tick on the board. And Eggheads, your first question. Whose single, Russian Roulette, reached #2 in the UK charts in 2009? Beyonce, Rihanna or Duffy?
It was me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's Rihanna.
Rihanna, that's correct, Eggheads. And back to Steve. The up and down sleeper trains, known as the Night Riviera, terminate at London and which Cornish town? Truro, Penzance or Falmouth?
I've no idea on this, and I haven't even heard of these, but so it'll be a guess. And Penzance instantly leapt out, so I'll go for Penzance.
OK, Penzance for the Night Riviera. It's the right answer. Well done. And Eggheads, what type of creature is a gunnel? a duck, fish, or a spider? What type of creature is a gunnel, G-U-N-N-E-L?
I may be shooting myself in the foot here, but before the options came up, I thought duck.
Oh, no.
But I've got nothing to go on, I'm afraid. I'm just saying, before the options came up, I thought duck.
I thought fish,
No,
and then I
heard
thought
of it,
spider.
Sorry.
You thought?
I thought fish first, and then I thought spider.
Right.
But it's usually called something spider, isn't it?
What does Pat think?
I don't have any strong information on this.
I think we go with fish, because it's
I mean,
more
fish.
fishes than anything else.
Well, what's the vote, then?
Hands up for duck.
I will stick my neck out and say duck.
Yeah, good.
Hands up for fish.
Well,
Got to vote for
that's a
some-
majority, then.
You're not allowed to abstain.
He didn't. He voted.
Oh, beg pardon.
Right. With preparatory apologies to CJ, we've done a vote on it, and we'll go for fish.
Well, I can tell you the answer is fish.
Thank God for that.
Well done. Fish, and you can sort out amongst yourselves who thought of that first, but the consensus in the end they got to, it would have been interesting if you'd not, in those head-to-heads, not you personally, Steve, but if the other magic dragons, and we had 2 sudden deaths, if a couple of those eggheads had been removed, what the consensus would have been then. But, well, get a third one, and let's hope they get their third one wrong. What name is given to the part of a sundial that casts a shadow? Is it Narwhal, Newmond, or Gnomon? What name is given to the part of a sundial that casts a shadow? Do you know this, Steve? Have you got a sundial?
Yes, I know this for some strange reason. Don't ask me why. It's a gnomon.
Well, that's fantastic. It is the right answer. Do you know, I had a look at that, Steve, obviously, just before I read it to you, thinking, oh, I hope he knows this. Fantastic. Well done. And no messing around there, you see. He's only one of him, obviously. He could talk to himself. He's probably got another persona, stage persona or something like that. Right. Well, pressure right back on the eggheads, nice and fast as well. So let's get this question out for the eggheads while they're still recovering from the last one. In classical architecture, a conventionalized representation of an acanthus leaf is used as a motif on the capitals at the top of the columns of which style? Doric, Ionic, or Corinthian?
We won't hang about on this one.
I think we know this one.
It's Corinthian, which is it's the most ornate of those 3 classical Greek orders. Doric is just plain. Ionic has a scroll. Corinthian has an acanthus leaf.
OK, Corinthian is the correct answer, eggheads, on surer territory there, getting away from the gunnels. And it means we're into sudden death, Steve, playing really, really well here, very assured, and taking away those options, though, as you know now. So, Steve, the children's character with the title Earl of Bunkerton appeared for many years in the Beano comic under what name?
Well, I'm thinking of 2 characters at the moment. I'll plump. That's not a pun. For Billy Bunter.
Billy Bunter as the Earl of Bunkerton. Well, he was the fat owl of the remove, wasn't he, Billy Bunter? Not the Earl of Bunkerton. No, not in the Beano. Do you know, eggheads, if you've been put in by Steve?
Lord Snooty.
Lord Snooty.
That was the other one.
Yeah. Was that the other one you were thinking of? And seeing it in the list might have been easier to get, but not Billy Bunter. It was Lord Snooty and his pals. So eggheads, chance to win the game. On the internet, .ie is the top-level domain assigned to which country? On the internet, .ie is the top-level domain assigned to which country?
It's Ireland.
Yeah, it is Ireland.
It's Ireland.
Yeah. It's like the EI turned round, isn't it?
IE is Ireland.
Yeah. It's the Republic of Ireland, don't it?
.ie is Ireland. It is the correct answer, eggheads. You've won. Well, Steve, that just turned on a sixpence for a moment or two, longer than a moment or two. Thought, well, you know, if they got it wrong, as we subsequently found out, we didn't know at the time, when you got your next question, you would definitely have beaten them.